have periods, Mr. Speaker. And on my way here, I actually stained my dress. I'm very disappointed. I'm actually more disappointed because the point of order that is being raised to try and attack an accident that is natural, because I have stained my clothes.
It was 14th of February 2023. A Kenyan Female Senator, Gloria Owomba, stepped out of her car and she noticed that her trousers were stained with blood. Of course, this is a grown-up woman and she understood what that was. But instead of her to go back home or try to go elsewhere to change her clothes, Miss Gloria decided to walk around the street with the stained trousers. She laughed with people, she talked and chatted as if nothing was wrong. And when she was done with that, she walked into the Senate to perform her duty as a senator.
Are you serious?
Then this got some of our colleagues angry.
As a woman and as a senator, I find it very uncomfortable, very inappropriate for our colleague, Senator Gloria, to step in and, you don't understand if she's on the normal woman cycle.
What Senator Gloria has done to this house today is disgrace. It's a lot of shame on this house, the Speaker.
And it is so indecent because these are natural things that as women we go through.
Saizi bibi ya Kalwale anaangalia na anaona kama mheshimiwa ameingia hapa akiwa anavuja damu kutoka sehemu zake za siri. Je, hii ni haki ndani ya hili bunge la Senate?
Okay, I'll be honest. I did not hear a single word out of what the last guy was saying, but I know from experience that when somebody is talking like this, they are hungry. So needless to say, the last guy was angry. I'm sorry if at this point you have believed this story I just told you, that a 48-year-old woman who had been managing menstrual period probably for 35 years could find herself in a situation where she had blood stain in her trousers and she could be walking around with it in public. If you have believed this story to be true, I'm sorry, you have believed a lie. The truth is that Miss Gloria intentionally put blood on herself, and you may want to ask, why?
Why? Why?
Then I will have to tell you a story. Now pay attention because this is a true life story. On September 6, 2019, a 14-year-old Kenyan girl named Jacqueline woke up in the morning like every other morning and dressed up for school. Then she went to school. But while in school, while going through the normal activities of school, Jacqueline noticed blood on her pants. Jacqueline was having a period, but there was a problem, and the problem was that Jacqueline did not know how to manage this experience because this was the first time she would be having a period. Most likely while she was trying to think through what will happen next and how to handle that, one of our teachers, who happened to be a woman, noticed and saw what was happening to her. Being a woman, the teacher knew, this girl was having a period. And I think at this period, Jacqueline will be thinking to herself, after all, she's a woman. She's going to understand what I'm going through. So she will probably help me. But unfortunately, instead of getting a help, Jacqueline was disgraced in public because her teacher called her dirty. Jacqueline was sad. She went home after school and she committed suicide.
This is the period stigma that is making our girls kill themselves. We have a girl who killed herself because of the same issue that I'm going through.
Now, let's go back to Miss Gloria. You see, everything Miss Gloria did on February 14, 2023 was a drama to call attention of black people to one of the areas of life where we are ignorant.
Read the Bible and even the Quran. If a woman is going through her periods, they're not even allowed to touch the Bible or the Quran.
You see, as black people, we are so ignorant that it is safe to say that ignorance is like water for the black man. Black people create taboos, myths, superstitions, gods around things that are natural, scientific, and normal because we are ignorant. For example, in 2018, UNICEF published this publication. According to this publication, there are some group of people in Ethiopia who believe that when a girl starts having period, it is because she had lost her virginity. What that means is, if you have a 13 years old who started having a period, these people believe that is because she had started sleeping with men, and because of that they created public shaming for such young girls. According to this 2016 publication by the Human Rights Watch, about 10% of young girls in Africa miss school when they are having period because, you know, there is one ignorant woman in that school or ignorant teacher who we notice that maybe the mood of a 14 years old is not normal, and the best thing an average African think they should do in that situation is to shame the girl. To make it worse, young girls grow up in Africa and they do not have anybody to sit them down and explain to them, hey, you are 10 years old now, anytime from now, this is what is likely to happen to you, because it happened to every female when they get to this age. I mean, according to this publication by UNICEF, about half of the girls in Ethiopia were never told anything about menstrual period until they had their first menstruation.
What?
Can you imagine how crazy that is? Can you imagine black people raising young girls, and you have an 11 years old girl, 12 years old girl, 13 years old girl, 14 years old girl, and neither the father nor the mother could sit that girl down one evening to tell her, hey, Roslyn, anytime from now, this is likely to happen to you. This is how to manage it. This is how, like, simple thing, but because of the high level of ignorance in Africa, it is very easy to ramp religion and taboo and myth and superstition around things than to speak about it and educate ourselves about it. Now, if you think this video is about menstrual period, you are mistaken. Instead, I honestly want to drive you to something even more serious. As a black man, one of the things that make me sad all the time is that black people really don't appreciate science. We are not curious. We do not look for answers. We don't like to figure out why something happened. Instead, whatever happens has to be God or demon or Satan. If somebody is sick in Africa, it is devil that make them sick. For example, when COVID-19 hit the world in 2019, you have the world being divided into two. You have America, Europe, Asia, running around to look for what is this? How does it affect human health? What does it do to humans' organ? How can we understand it better? What can we use for it? A million questions about COVID-19. Then you have another section of the world, which is black people in Africa. And what they are doing is going to mountains to go and kill Satan and devil who caused COVID-19. Today, why many young people in Asia, Europe, America are studying engineering to build things, to understand physics, to create things that can solve human problems, and then build company around that. Back in Africa, African young people, we rather go and look for miracle money.
If I be a prophet of God, if I be a prophet of God, let miracle money appear now. 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 Wherever you are,
Yeah,
I decree and declare
I receive.
miracle money right now.
I receive.
Money into your pockets.
I receive.
Money into your pockets.
I receive.
Increase into your.
It's a shame that people believe that a Yahoo boy can go to a herbalist, do charm, and get money. But a Christian cannot pray to God and angels bring money.
Hey, hey.
If two people are married in America, Europe, or elsewhere, and their marriage is not working, they sit down to think about what could be go wrong. Can we go and see a marriage counselor? Is it because we are not communicating very well? What is going on with us? People take responsibility. They look for answers. They are curious. They try and pick up some books about marriage. In Africa, when your marriage is not working, it is your grandmother. No, please. I'm not mentioning you. You can trust me. It is not you. Yeah. You get the idea I'm trying to paint here. Even though I started this video with menstrual period, the entire idea is around ignorance in Africa. If we want to change our countries and our continent, we have to embrace science. We have to embrace curiosity. We have to embrace looking for answers. In his 1963 book, Strength of Love, Martin Luther King wrote, "Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance." Even though many people who are ignorant in Africa sincerely don't know they are ignorant, that is dangerous for all of us, because ignorance makes people to want to solve their life's problems with the wrong medicine. Ignorance is like you having typhoid and you are using paracetamol because you think it is headache. So if we want to really change the destiny of Africa, we have to embrace science. We have to learn how to ask questions and look for answers. We have to know how to talk about things that are natural and scientifically proven to be so, instead of like Ethiopia and elsewhere all across Africa creating taboos around a young girl menstruating, for example, or creating taboo or religious superstition around a disease outbreak, instead of looking for science. Now, can you just imagine that everybody in the world was Africa when COVID-19 broke out? All of us will go to mountain and we are going to be in the mountain praying. Why? Because what will happen? All of us will die, because the problem is not spiritual. If it was spiritual, it will have been prayer that will cure it. Was it prayer that cured COVID-19? If you're an African, what I challenge you to do today is go to library, pick up a book, read, expand your mind, read about human psychology, read about money if you want to have money. Read like broaden your mind. If you do that, you are not just going to help yourself, you are going to help your community, and you are going to end up helping your country. And if we have enough numbers of people in Africa who really want to embrace education, curiosity, and science, we are going to start solving many of our problems by ourselves. And that is how generations of people or a race of people become powerful.